Hey, what's up, guys? This is David Chase Taylor of 911truther.org. Today is July 27th of 2026. So, based on breaking news and events, it appears that CIA headquarters located beneath CERN at Lake Geneva in Switzerland is going to stage what I am calling the Netanyahu coup d'etat in the United States in the next 72 hours. So, according to the latest reports, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has boarded the Wing of Zion and is currently en route from a secret Israeli military base to Washington, D.C. On the date of July 27th of 2026, where he is slated to land in Washington, D.C., and then he will subsequently attend the state funeral of U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, who was allegedly assassinated back on July 21st of 2026 in Kiev, Ukraine. And there are going to be two different funeral events. One is going to be in the home state of South Carolina, and then, of course, one in Washington, D.C. So it's 100% certain, it's 100% sure that the CIA is going to stage a major earth-changing event while Benjamin Netanyahu is in the country, because arriving with him in Washington, D.C. is a group of Israeli special forces that are going to unleash an unprecedented wave of terror in the United States while he is here. Although he is here for political reasons, namely to attend the funeral of Lindsey Graham, his dear friend in genocide. This is political cover for a coup d'etat. So firstly, this coup d'etat is going to target the Trump administration. It's 100% certain that Donald J. Trump dissolution of presidency event is going to transpire in the next 72 hours, specifically to spawn the presidency of one J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance is going to be the 48th president of the United States. Israel was founded in 1948. The Zionist establishment in Switzerland has chosen J.D. Vance as the president to launch a full-scale ground invasion of Iran. So when Netanyahu is in the continental United States for the next 72 hours, they're going to stage a Trump dissolution of presidency event as pretext for a J.D. Vance presidency, and this may likely come in the form of an alleged Iranian attack in the United States. So I just want to state for the record, it's 100% certain that Donald J. Trump is going to suffer an arrest for crimes he did not commit, a political assassination, a hospitalization, or a death event, or a coup d'etat targeting the White House, the United States Capitol building, and or other strategic locations in Washington, D.C., and or the greater national capital region, such as CIA headquarters, the Pentagon, the Supreme Court building, etc. It's also 100% certain that a Trump dissolution of presidency event will occur, which may include, but is not limited to, an impeachment, a resignation, or the invocation of a 25th Amendment that he is not fit to serve as president. Because this impending coup d'etat is going to be executed at the hands of Netanyahu himself. The public dismissing the comments and the brash demeanor at which Trump has dealt with Netanyahu and his egregious war crimes, especially in Lebanon, and the unwillingness for Netanyahu to basically fall in line has enraged Netanyahu to the point where he is going to murder him with his own bare hands. And this is likely going to happen in the aftermath of an arrest for crimes he did not commit, most likely in respect to the Epstein scandal, or some other contrived notion. But Donald J. Trump is about to be terminated at the hands of Benjamin Netanyahu while he is in the continental United States. The second most likely event, which is likely Plan B, is that it's 100% certain that the CIA is going to stage a DEFCON level event in the United States or elsewhere around the world in the next 72 hours surrounding the state visit by Benjamin Netanyahu, which is likely going to last until the 29th of July. So exactly what to expect, obviously not known, but a 9/11 style attack, which will predictably be CBRN in nature, that's chemical, biological, radiological, or nuclear in nature, a bombing attack, an act of war, possibly an ICBM strike from the likes of China, Iran, Pakistan, North Korea, Russia, or even possibly Saudi Arabia or Qatar or Pakistan is expected. There's also the high probability that the CIA is going to stage some sort of a domestic terror attack targeting one or more locations in the United States. This will, of course, be blamed onto neo-Nazi or American militia groups such as Patriot Front, Proud Boys, KKK, or other domestic terror groups. Also, the entourage that arrived in Washington, D.C. with Israeli President Benjamin Netanyahu are seasoned terrorists. These are former special forces of Israel that are now with Shin Bet and with the security detail of Netanyahu, and they are going to stage some sort of an attack that's going to be scapegoated onto Iran. This may target Washington, D.C., it may target New York City or Philadelphia, Baltimore, Detroit, or other cities in the United States, but it's going to start a war with Iran. And then they'll subsequently blame Quds Force, Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthi militia, Al-Qaeda, ISIS, Taliban, etc., etc. So what we know about this impending event is that it's going to be chemical, biological, or radiological in nature, or nuclear. Is going to spawn a second global biological pandemic, and it's going to trigger World War III. This is all going to happen in the next 72 hours. Benjamin Netanyahu is a wanted war criminal by the International Criminal Court, and this is not a mistake. This is because he is a terror mastermind. And we're going to see this. This is what the entire narrative with New York Mayor Zoran Mandami about his arrest when Netanyahu comes to New York is because they're going to stage an arrest of Trump, and this will likely feature a torture event behind closed doors and the death of Donald J. Trump in custody. As I've stated numerous times, he will never see the inside of a courtroom because the charges against him are false. These are being fabricated at the behest of Switzerland and being executed by the Department of Justice. But the raid that is going to transpire likely in the early morning hours of the 28th or the 29th of July is going to ultimately result in the death of Donald J. Trump, likely under the guise of a self-inflicted suicide, a medical-related event, or some sort of confrontation with arresting officers. So obviously, if this transpires in the next 72 hours as expected, we know that CIA headquarters located in CERN at Lake Geneva in Switzerland is ultimately responsible. We have to remember that Switzerland is in fact the first Jewish state founded circa August 1st, 1309, and they are counting on the third Jewish state of Israel formed on May 14th of 1948 to execute their nefarious plots. Switzerland was home to the first ever Jewish Congress in 1897, and they're currently, that was in Basel, Switzerland, and they're currently home to the World Jewish Congress, which is the largest political body in the world that is absolutely is allowed to operate with impunity without any media coverage, because they are in fact pulling the strings in Switzerland with her CIA at Lake Geneva. So obviously this event is going to forever change the outcome of the direction of the United States. It's designed to derail the impending midterm elections in November, and it's designed to decapitate the United States of her leadership in a critical moment. So a future scenario in which a DEFCON level event happens, and then Netanyahu is waiting in the wings, and then they'll say that Trump died of a heart attack or something to that effect is expected. So we can expect a major event in the United States in the next 72 hours surrounding the impending funeral of Lindsey Graham, and then we can expect that the Netanyahu cabal, for lack of a better word, will basically decapitate the United States leadership, starting with U.S. President Donald J. Trump, and they will likely execute and what they call a Night of the Long Knives like scenario, like they did in Nazi Germany with the rise of Hitler to power. And they will likely execute or imprison all Trump loyalists in Washington, D.C. and the U.S. military. So this is a red alert. CIA headquarters is going on the offensive with Benjamin Netanyahu landing in the United States in the next hour or so en route from Israel. And the reason why he departed from a secret military base in Israel is because he is going to execute a secret operation in the United States, which is ultimately going to result in the demise of U.S. President Donald J. Trump and a DEFCON level event, which is likely going to be executed or greenlit by Benjamin Netanyahu himself. So we can expect a 9/11 style terror attack, and a nuclear ICBM strike, or some sort of act of war or act of terror that is going to basically hijack the current situation in the United States. There's also the high possibility that the funeral itself could come under attack because Lindsey Graham made plenty of enemies at home and abroad with his genocidal policies. So obviously, if this transpires in the next 72 hours between the dates of July 27th and the dates of July 29th, when the funeral is going to be held in Washington, D.C., I would kindly ask that you download this video and share it with local, state, and federal law enforcement, military, and intelligence officials, as well as with local, national, and international media outlets. Lastly, it's important to remember that Benjamin Netanyahu is a pawn of Switzerland, and although he does not wield complete control over the entire world as the CIA does, he is in fact an executioner, and he is just in the last since October 7th is personally responsible for the death of over 100,000 Palestinians in Gaza. The Israeli military has attacked 8 different nations in the last calendar year, and the United States is going to be attacked in the next 72 hours by Benjamin Netanyahu and his band of terrorists that have just landed or are about to land in Washington, D.C. So obviously this cannot be allowed to happen. So obviously praying for a peaceful next 72 hours while international war criminal that has been sent to the United States by Switzerland to do damage is in the United States. Peace.